and welcome to my podcast, Ethos of Equanimity. I am your host, Shanika Shalom, and I'm going to start off by honoring my space today. I've done a lot of work to create a type of Zen zone for myself, which is all going to make sense when I describe the definition of equanimity and when I give you the definition of ethos. I also chose to wear my balance shirt today with my Hamza, and I think that will make more sense too. So I wanted to give you a little rundown of what this episode is going to consist of. It's going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Just an introduction to myself and an introduction to what this podcast will be about. So I think that you're going to get all of that just from the definition of the words. So let's start with the word ethos. The definition of ethos from my beautiful journal here that I have, I believe I got this at Big Lots. Ethos, the characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or communities as manifested in its beliefs and aspirations. So to me, ethos is like choosing the energy that you surround yourself with or the vibes that you choose to interact with in communities. So the beliefs and aspirations and how those things align. So I think that goes along with the topics that I'll be covering throughout this podcast. If you're part of my tribe, then I think you know it. And if you're kind of like, why is she talking about that? Then you're probably not meant to be in this space with me, and that's okay. That's okay. So, the word equanimity. The definition of equanimity is mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. So, equanimity is a word that I learned through one of my meditation books that I was reading. And it was called, oh goodness, I can't think of it, but I will definitely comment it when I remember. Oh, it was called Meditations and Intentions on Being. That was the name of it. And I really loved that book. It had like a breakdown of every day, and yeah, it was really great. I'll post and share some of what I took from that journal, or from that book. So equanimity, mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. So, when I thought about starting this podcast, I immediately thought of equanimity because I want to appear and present myself in my highest form, which is to be mentally calm and even temper, and just to elicit and evoke and embody stillness. That's what I hope to create, is a space where you can tune in and zone out and feel like you're going to get some good information. Yeah, so again, that's ethos, the characteristic spirit of the culture, era, or communities as manifested in its beliefs and aspirations, and equanimity, mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. So, episode 1 of my podcast. Difficult situation. So again, my Zen space here, I've decided to put my accomplishments, so both of my college degrees and my state license, and then of course my prosperity plant here, right here. And then I have my favorite tapestry. This is some spin art that my daughter made me. One of my favorite blankets, and one of my favorite shirts that just says balance with a Hamza. So I suppose something else I could show you is that I have this ring right here, which is a lotus flower, and that's something else that I feel brings me peace. So mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper. So then I was like, okay, well, what's the best way to introduce myself? If I tell you what I want my podcast to represent, then you probably want to know, why do you want to hear it from me? So I decided I would go with this right here, which you really probably can't read, but I will read it to you. So I'm also a yoga teacher. I was teaching a class at an art gallery here where I'm located in Cincinnati. And one of the classes that I taught, the intention that we set for that class was called Creed. So Creed is a set of fundamental beliefs, a guiding principle, a set of beliefs or aims which guide someone's actions. So, important is it provides the words that explicate the fundamental convictions concerning God, the world, and humanity. Again, important is provides the words that explicate the fundamental convictions concerning God, the world, and humanity. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be like a spiritual, it's going to be a pretty spiritual podcast. I'm just going to keep it real with you. This is going to go on here. So, what is a creed? A creed is a motivational statement, a statement of purpose, a commitment to personal or group development, a path to a better tomorrow, a standard for success, a common language that expresses a vision. So, I found, in the search that I did, I found 4 steps to how to write a creed. So the first step is who am I? The second step is what I believe. The third step, statement of goals and desired results. And the fourth step is a plan of action. So now I'm going to share with you the personal creed that I wrote to introduce myself to you, my listeners, my viewers of my first podcast. This is actually my second podcast. I've done one other episode on my yoga channel with my daughter. It's called A Mindful Mama Moment. But on this first episode of Ethos of Equanimity, here's an introduction to me, Shanika Shalom, and my personal creed. Who I am. I am a motivated, disciplined, educated, and productive member of my community. 2. What I believe. I accept leadership opportunities in which my characteristics of creativity, intelligence, innovation, resilience, and well-being are utilized, respected, and appreciated. And honestly, I believe that part so much that it's pretty core to my characteristics of who I believe myself to be, that I even have the word, resilience tatted right there on me with the yin-yang sign. So I will explain this in a second. 3. Statement of goals and desired results. 3. I facilitate learning through mindful, self-affirming behaviors in collaboration with remaining authentic through presentation of skill development while remaining conscious of the best outcomes and opportunities for individuals, society, and Earth. 4. Plan of action. I will move forward with courage, sincerity, balance, open-mindedness, cultural competence, and kindness to aid in manifesting a life that is stable, sustainable, connected, and diverse. So, that is my personal creed. And I just thought that was how I would introduce myself. Oh, this is a Clever Fox planner here. So, it only does 3 months at a time, but I would do a breakdown of this too. But I really, really, really love this thing. And I've been using it for 3 years now. So, I get a new one every 3 months. But I've been using them for 3 years now. So I truly, truly believe in the product. But there's some affirmations that went along with this intention that was set of Creed, where I am confident, capable, competent, courageous. And then my client actually added unstoppable. And I was like, yeah, I love that. So those were the words that we chose to lead us and guide us through our yoga practice that day and our meditation. And then the pranayama that we did, or the breathing exercise, was we did a box breath. So we did it 2 to 6 times. The Sanskrit word for that is Samavrita Pranayama, which means equal mental fluctuations, which I thought really goes along with this very first episode of Ethos of Equanimity, because it's mental calmness, which is balance, which is equal mental fluctuations. So a box breath, it equalizes, balances, and harmonizes. It slows your heart rate, increases oxygen, decreases anxiety. It's calming and balancing body and mind, increases focus, experience, and deep rest. So what is a box breath? So imagine that you see a box here. So we're going to breathe in, hold, and exhale, and hold. So that looks like this is 1, 2, 3, 4 count, and you breathe in, hold, exhale, hold. So that's box breath. So, and then some of the yoga postures that we did, so the different positions, the asanas that we did in that practice were chair, thunderbolt prayer twist, shoulder stands, death man's pose, and then we did some Supta Baddha Konasana. Our peak pose was in the igniting sequence of Journey into Power, which is the yoga teacher philosophy, and the physical asana sequence that I'm trained in. It breaks down into different sections, I guess you can call them. And so the peak pose of the entire practice was wheel, which is like, just imagine a backbend, looks like half of a wheel. And I don't know. The more I thought about it, I was like, this is how I'll introduce myself. So I hope that this was a good introduction. I hope that you're intrigued enough with what I had to say, that you'll keep coming back. And I just want you to know that I truly appreciate that you've spent your time with me thus far. We will always end together with a namaste, an inhale, an om, and a deep exhale. So we'll exhale on our om together. And that is the seed sound of the universe. So I believe that to be a nice way for us to, no matter what time you're watching this or how much time we spend together, a nice way for us to end our time together. So we can end on a universal connection of the seed sound of Om. So namaste. My soul honors your soul. And Om. Breathe in. And Om. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and share.